Okay, right, back on the project. At long last. How long's it been, Ben?
Couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness. Seriously, we've been doing all kinds of other stuff, but finally back on the project. Now, in the last couple of weeks, behind the scenes, we've been doing some serious negotiating and stuff, and we're going to be making some big changes to the garage. Seriously big changes. If you look at the playlist, which was Project Garage, when we first opened this and painted the walls and put all the shelving up and the sign and so on, that hasn't finished. We haven't finished doing stuff with this garage. If you look around, look at the mess there, look at the state of that. All the bottles and cans and stuff and all these all accumulating. We are now going to invest some of our fabulous patrons' money in some storage systems. It's about time we tidied this place up, made it look just a little bit more professional. Also, when I'm grinding steel, which I'm doing a lot of with fabrication, welding, that sort of thing, there's aerosol cans, paint cans and flammable things out on show, and that isn't a safe thing to do. I've noticed it ever since I first did it. When I'm editing, I'm watching where the sparks go and I'm seeing that sparks and stuff are going in this direction. That's not a safe thing. So there are some big changes coming in the next month, isn't it, Pam?
Yep.
And the next month or so, we're going to make a massive visual change to this garage. It's going to look like nothing it is at the moment. These benches are going out. The tool system I've got is going. All new stuff's coming in. It's not going to be immediate. It will probably take quite a few videos. It will be a bit of a garage project in its own right. So it will be a project that you're along the way with us on. Is that how it goes? Yeah. But for now, honestly, we've got a couple of days. We've got today and I've got the weekend to just do some stuff on the project. I just want to get back to it. It's so easy for projects to go off the rails, to get left and end up in the free ads project, unfinished project.
Unfinished project.
Yeah, unfinished project, all the major work done. So that's not going to happen. We're going to get this thing finished and ride it up the road. We promised that right at the beginning. So every opportunity I get, which is the next couple of videos, will just be back on this. First thing I've got to do today is take this, the big Phallosaurus, and completely grind all this back. I've got to use one of the fleece discs. I'm going to get all of the top coat of this gel coat off, grind back all the lumps and bumps and ugliness and try and shape it to some semblance of order, and then put some filler over the top and just start layering it up. The filler that goes on this is going to be many layers, probably 2 or 3 cans of filler, 99% of which will end up in the bin, because it does. You sand it off and you lay more on, you sand it off. So that's really a sculpture thing now. It's got to be done, and I'm going to get stuck in today. So we're going to start today, get this outside, because I'm not going to fill this garage with clouds of dust. We'll go outside where it is a bit windy and it'll blow away, and we can get all this ground off and bring it back inside and see what it looks like once all this blobby, knobby, unpleasant drips and runs are all off it. See if we can make it look nice. Isn't that right, Pen?
Try it.
Let's get stuck in. Welcome back. 2 hours later on, honestly 2 hours that took me about 15 minutes. But doing it gently is important so that you don't just grind and chew lumps into it and grind it all off, turn it all into dust. Right, I want to show you this before I go any further. Let's get you off there. Some of you guys asked when I was doing the laying up of this, why put so many layers of fiberglass on it when the strength is in the metal frame. It doesn't need the fiberglass to be strong. No, it doesn't, quite correct. You are right. The issue is, what I've tried to do is put lots on as I did originally and then grind off probably half of it. Now if you look in there now, you can see through that. That is now no more than the original cloth, stretchy t-shirt cloth, with maybe one layer, just one layer of fiberglass with resin over it. I've ground off the lion's share of what was on there, on the sides especially where there is no strength needed. You can see through that. You see through that? There you go. You can see through that very clearly. That is ultra thin. It doesn't move. It's very, very rigid. And the top up under there has got that secondary layer for torsional rigidity, so it doesn't move. It holds the whole thing strong. I've got to drill those through. I've just left them as they are for now. There's no point worrying. I can drill through from them later. So that's it. I've taken off all but one layer of fiberglass all over that. That was the idea of laying so much on. It gives me scope to grind back without the worry of going through it. And I haven't gone through it anywhere. A couple of little places like that, but there's metal under there, so that's not an issue. I'll just put some filler in that. The whole thing along here, all those, 4 or 5 layers of fiberglass have given me a really good, solid, smooth layer over those welds. They're buried under there forever, and the tiniest little bit of filler is all it's going to take. Same in there. That's a little bit shallow, still there. That's not straight yet. But first, before I put any filler in this, it's ever so lumpy bumpy. So just to give myself a chance of less filler is always good, I'm just going to go over that with a block and just take out some of the ripples all over the areas that are important, like here and here, and possibly in there a bit, not sure. But just going to take out some of the ripples because I want that to be nice and smooth when it's done, and that's best achieved by taking down the lumps rather than filling in between them. Okay, let's get on with it.
I was told so many stories, I kept them in my stomach. Lies of truth, fake smiles and blood money. I lost cause at a loss for words, trying to keep my tone down. What I'm saying's absurd, unusual, the context unique, buried in the depths of metaphorical speech. A hidden message, pull the infinite strings, reconnect the ends and pretend to justify the means. Parallel, we're reading the same page, turn days into literature simple as loose change. It was perfect, or at least that's what I'm told. Courage is dead, spending my life fearing the cold. I was useless, feeling like dead weight, plain as day. Introducing when handshakes. Originality was spread across the board. Intricate self-worth, I'm searching for more. I swear rain doesn't fall on my fields. It takes a drought to avoid all the secrets that I concealed. Hidden within the dust covered land behind the city. The street lights are dim and the fog is always walking with me. It's nothing new, my eyes adjusted to the scene. Flickering on and off, it's just the daily routine. I grab a hold of time, forcing not to leave. The weeds grow sporadic in my home as well as quarantine.
Right, welcome back, Penny. Not too soon. Now a job like this is about stages of the job, starting with welding and fabrication, making it out of steel, then you get the fiberglass layer, then you start putting the filler on, and then it's many layers of paint and guide coats, and then more guide coats, and then bits of filler where you need it. It's just a backwards and forwards process to create something that when it's done actually looks pretty cool. So far left these little tubes in place because I'm going to put the filler on now. I'm going to put a layer, probably the biggest amount of filler I've ever scraped onto an item ever. Probably the whole tin of filler is going to go onto this, and then it'll be a sculpting job. That's the next bit. It's quite good fun actually, using the sandpaper with the soft foam blocks. I just want to show you this. If you want to do this yourself, you can buy this soft sort of memory foam stuff. It's quite squishy and forgiving, and you can use a sander and carve it into different shapes like that. So I've got more of a sharp round than there, that's more shallow, that's curved. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just using it to sculpt the fiberglass first, using a 40 grit aluminium oxide paper. This stuff, if you're going to do this, you know, I'm only telling you these things just in case you're going to do it. The aluminium oxide paper, this is a 40 grit, just about as gritty as you want, and this is the qualities of this are that it doesn't go bald, it doesn't wear out, it stays gritty. Eventually what does happen, because it's so coarse, it breaks up, and you get like this situation where it's all busted up and you chuck it away because it's falling to pieces. But the idea is it doesn't clog up with the dust that you're sanding. You can't use this wet either, it's a bare paper on the back, you have to use it dry. You use the grey stuff wet dry. You know all that, what am I telling you that for? What am I telling you that for?
Done.
You know all that, right. So all I do now is clean up, clear all this up, wash this off to get all the dust off it, and then we're going to put some filler on it. And that will probably be it for today, because I knew this was meant to be a 15-minute job, just to quickly scrub it over and then put some filler on it, but it's not. Like all these things, you see the imbalances, you see where it's high at one side, you start sculpting, and I'm now halfway happy with that. I've got all the bumps and lumps and ripples out, all the unnecessary resin is gone where I don't need it at all, and then I've started to blend things, and if I rub too much more now, I'm going to rub too low and have to refill. So that's it for the base fiberglass. All the filler fiberglass, all these joints around here are lovely, rock solid. It's been left through 2-3 weeks while we're doing the other projects. Now I'm going to put some filler on it, which should really hold it. And again, it is still extremely light because I've rubbed off most of the fiberglass that went on there, and that's what it's all about. So let's get cleaned up first.
I think so.
Rest, giving all I got to breathe life to the common sense. Moving the top to where the fuel rests, giving all I got to breathe life to your silhouette. Sometimes what we see or touch might be rough or rigid, like a wax painting a sound, stressed to fill the holes in the life we've been living. And each one of us has a story, different plots intertwined and connected. We pass in the street, but all we notice are the vibes that are reflected. Question is, do we take or deflect? It seems heavy, but when I roll my hands was steady. The whites of his eyes seen from the paper till I was ready. Frustration became more common than being calm and outcast. Walked in the motion of every song till it fades. I washed away the shades of color, peeled back the winter, bringing light to my summer. I spent the longest time trying to decide on who to be. My destiny manifests, my mind's in the open sea. See, I feel better when I'm alone. Escape my own past, creation of time zones I flipped. See my eyes focus on every trip. Reaching for the sky becomes harder with every hit till it clears. The smoke settles on all my fears. Rain drops and covers the remains of every tear that I flip. See my eyes focus on every trip. Reaching for the sky becomes harder with every hit. Every hit, every hit, every hit, every hit, every hit, every hit.
whole tin, practically a whole tin. I used a bit on the footboards, but that is as much filler as I can put in that today. I don't have any left now. A good £1.50 of filler, Bondo, bog, call it what you like, is now in that, and that will take probably, it's gone off, it's gone hard now, but it's got that sticky feel to it, which it always gets because it's not really warm enough. It's only, what is it? It's only 14 degrees centigrade. That's not really warm enough to make it dry right out. So I'm going to leave that until the next video now, because if I try and sand it right now, using the paper, even the 40 grit, it just clogs the paper up, big lumps appear in the paper, that starts carving lines in it, doesn't sand nicely, it doesn't carve down into its shape nicely, it's not worth it. Be patient, wait for these things to dry right out, then I can get the shape. Then it's just a process, repeat, back and forth, filler in, filler sanded, filler in, filler sanded, until you're absolutely sure that roughly you've got the shape. Once that's done, it's a spray over of paint. Any paint will do, doesn't matter what it is, silver, black, any colour, it's just a guide coat. Spray it over, and then you can see, once it's in a uniform colour, you'll see any low spots, you mark them, and you can rub back where you need to, fill where you need to, and you can finally get it as good as you can possibly get it. Hey, Pen?
We can try.
We can try the best possible job. Then once that's done, I can get it in silver, just that 4 or 5 coats of this real silver, exactly like the other ones, and then I'll be ready for the painter. These little tubes here are going to get ground back probably in the next video so that they're flush. At the moment, I don't know the height of the Bondo filler stuff, so that's going to have to be sanded back a little bit till I know the height, then I can grind them back. It's just a little bit of a process, that's all. So we call it done, what we can.
Yeah, I think you need to have a wash and brush up.
Definitely. There we go, thanks for watching. It's a midweek video, coming towards the end of the month now. Join us at the weekend. I'll do the rest of this if I can, at least try and get it into a coat of paint at the weekend, and then we have the fantastic prize draw after that on Sunday, don't we?
We do.
Thanks for watching, take it easy, all right, safe. See you next time.